Back here on Big 12 today, on Big 12 Radio, with you each weekday, 8A to 11A Eastern Time. He's Ari Timken. I'm James Westling. We head up north to Kansas City to check in with Rachel Galligan, Big 12 women's basketball insider analyst. She is all over the place. It was a wild day yesterday on the women's side. But Rachel, hang in there. Hang with us. Just, I don't know how you do it. You are all over my television. What has your schedule been like the last 24 hours?
I would say even like the last week, like going straight from Lubbock on Sunday, doing Texas Tech's last game, and then Monday coming here and basically doing the glass floor reveal and welcome party. And you know how it is when you're at these tournaments for a whole week, you got to unpack like your entire wardrobe. Tuesday was the practice day, so that's a really cool day for me to be there and have an opportunity to watch everybody practice, at least everybody who plays in the first round, and just kind of be around the environment. I got to really experience the floor that day. Wednesday, obviously, the first round games, full day of action. It's crazy because you have teams that practice in the morning because there's no other time to really get on the floor, right? And so, people come in and do shoot-arounds at like 6 a.m. And then I actually stayed all through those four games. And Oklahoma State came in after the 8 o'clock game, so they were shooting around at like 10:30 at night, and I hadn't had an opportunity to meet up with them yet, and so I stayed for that too. So
Wow.
It's crazy. You guys know how it is. You're in the arena literally from like the early morning until the late night. It's so fun though. You start to lose concept of time, and my eating schedule is way off. But it's so the adrenaline and the excitement of it all. And like you said yesterday, on the women's side was just unbelievable in terms of the lower seeds and all of the, I guess I would say upsets, and to some degree, and that's what this league is. And I'm drinking my coffee and getting geared up for the quarterfinals today.
Do you think BYU and Arizona State have done enough already to garner NCAA tournament bids?
I do. When you look at Arizona State's quad two wins in particular, I think the win over Iowa State, I don't know how that will be valued. It really in the grand scheme by the committee. I mean, all respect in the world to Charlie Cream, but it gets to a point where you're kind of just like, I was watching it, and I'm watching what's happening in other leagues and the SEC and a lot of their bubble teams that, like, we were going toe-to-toe with, like, imploded the other day. And so, like, we're, like, the queens of the bubble right now. That's a whole other dissertation that I would love to go on. But, for whatever reason, I stand strong on the fact that I don't think this league gets enough respect. But I think that win last night for Arizona State, I mean, in what world does a team win 24 games and isn't an NCAA team? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, it
yeah,
just
yeah.
blows my mind, especially in a league like this where, I mean, this isn't just us blowing smoke and when I say us, me and the coaches, you guys, like, blowing smoke about this league and how good it is. Like, it genuinely is elite in terms of the styles of play, the coaches in this league, their ability to make adjustments, their ability to develop. And so, like, I'm not surprised because I've watched it as close as anybody for 2 years, this league and how much, they just beat up on each other, especially this time of year. And so, like, that loss of Iowa State, let's not forget that this was a top 10 team a couple of months ago. This was a team that was picked second in the Big 12. They literally just couldn't buy a basket last night, and so, I mean, I still stand strong on the fact that Iowa State can go make some noise in the tournament. And I 100% believe Arizona State, because you have to take into consideration the way teams are playing right now and the momentum, honestly, both BYU and Arizona State. I don't know how you count both of them out.
So, Rachel, how many teams and what teams are on the right side of the bubble after last night, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, I think it's safe to say, like, I mean, just kind of pulling up my little notes here. Give me a second. TCU, I mean, they're going to be probably up there as a 3. West Virginia, I think, should be a 4. I think they should be hosting, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, we'll see them play today, but they have been so good and so efficient. Texas Tech, obviously, I think I can assume that it's safe to say, that they would drop to probably a 6 seed or so. Baylor, Texas Tech's out, obviously not trending the greatest going into March right now, but still their body of work and their complete resume. And I think, just this whole team obviously is a tournament team. Baylor, let's see what kind of noise they can make in the tournament. They're going to have to honestly probably go win it all to be a host team. I think Oklahoma State, hands down, a tournament team. I still believe very much that Iowa State is a tournament team. There's just, I just don't. Yeah, like they're the all everything around Iowa State and the injuries in the middle of the season, all those things. Like the talent is there. We know what this team is capable of. We saw it, in the first part of the season. Colorado for sure. I think they're in. So right now, I mean, that puts us at 7, and then you've got BYU, Arizona State. Those are the ones fighting for it. I mean, Utah lost, Kansas lost, and so BYU, Arizona State. It's a big day. Trying to really build out their resumes. And I will tell you, they're playing really, really well right now. I'd love to get them both in, but realistically, have an 8, that seems like a realistic path right now.
Yeah. So, Rachel, there's been some, commentary from players and coaches about the floor. What do you think is maybe most honest and genuine about some of the, the positives and negatives around it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be 100% real about this because it's obviously been the most talked about subject of the week, and rightfully so. I was skeptical myself. I found out about this along with everybody else a month ago or whatever it was, and there's like the media hype woman Rachel, and then there's the former coach and former player Rachel,
yes.
And so I wanted to wait. Obviously, it looks amazing. The technology is really cool. I mean, so I really wanted to wait, and that practice day was really big for me. It was one thing to see it and see its capabilities and see, the inventor kind of talk about it on Monday, but Tuesday was really big for me. Like, I came in and did like a full-blown workout. I don't know if you guys saw the video of me diving on the floor after the loose ball. I was getting shots up. We were playing around with, so many things on it. Now, granted, I haven't really played real basketball in many, many years, but that was really big for me just to get a feel of it and just kind of getting an understanding of it. And I told some of the Big 12 higher ups, I said, if you brought somebody with a blindfold in, like a basketball player, and just blindfolded them and they just kind of dribbled around, you told them to do some ball handling drills, I don't know that they would tell a difference.
Yeah.
I do think like there's been some comments about like there's a temperature difference because the floor itself can be a little warm. But I've been in every single press conference and obviously really locked in with the coaches and the teams, and it's from our side and from being in the arena and in the environment, it's been incredible. It really is breathtaking to be around. The coaches have been fantastic about it, knock on wood so far. The players obviously think it's really cool. It's been fun to see their reactions coming in, of course, the practice days. But what I really wanted to experience was the last couple of days and hearing them in the press conference. And they've been overwhelmingly fine with it. They've been positive. I think, at this point of the year, like, put them on a blacktop. Like, they just want to play. And so that's been really interesting. No one's really allowed it to become a distraction, if you will. And I think that was my biggest concern, is how are the coaches and how are the players feeling? Logan Greer of Colorado last night made one of my favorite comments. Someone asked her about it, and she said, I think it's really cool. It's like playing on a giant iPad. And I thought that was funny. There is one little common theme, I think, from the players at times is it feels a little bit like they're kind of mentioning like feeling like they're slipping a little bit, and maybe people have noticed that on, when you're watching the games. But that's been the only thing that has been mentioned. But it's not in a way of like, oh my gosh, that's the only thing that the players say.
Rachel, Kansas State ended the game on a 21-0 run. They had like a 0.3% chance of winning that game when they were down 14 midway through the third quarter. K-State takes down Texas Tech. Being there in person, watching that, just walk us through that last quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it was jarring to say the least. You don't see those types of. I mean, you do. It's March. Anyone who's followed basketball for any period of time sees these things. But I was very shocked, I think, to see the just collapse of Texas Tech. You guys know I have been extremely close around that program all year long, calling their games, and it was interesting just to kind of see like they didn't have an answer. They couldn't put the ball in the basket. They couldn't, and March is about players making plays. Like the coaches can only do so much at this phase of the game, right? And so like who's going to go make plays? And I found it really interesting. It felt like Texas Tech, like when Kansas State, like they were playing with house money. Like, let's be truly honest, because this team was young. They're coming into this, just they played really free, in my opinion, and I think that's a dangerous combination, and that's a dangerous team. They'd already beaten Texas Tech once. And that's why I kind of thought like the Lady Raiders would want some revenge just on that loss. They were embarrassed about that loss in Lubbock, a couple months ago, and really would come back and avenge that. But Kansas State late in the game, I mean, they just started you just felt they'd hit a couple shots, and then they'd hit a couple shots, and then Texas Tech, like it was just one of like nothing was going right. The turnovers of Texas Tech, and maybe that's pressure at the moment at times. I don't really know exactly what was happening with Texas Tech. They just didn't have answers, and K-State had the momentum. And next thing you know, like they just had this look in their eye of resilience, and that was scary. Like I knew when I looked at that, I was like, this is about to be something. This is about to be something, because the look in Kansas State's eye and the look in Texas Tech's eye in that fourth quarter was two completely different things. And so credit Kansas State. Like, I mean, they've been up and down all year. That was totally expected because they're young and really inexperienced when it comes to NCAA basketball. And maybe ignorance is bliss sometimes when it comes to what we're doing here in Kansas City, because it is a big stage and there is a lot of pressure. And that's kind of what I saw. Like, this was a team that just says, we're just going to lay it on the line, and we're going to play free. We're going to have fun. And they made plays. That's what it is. It's March. They made a lot more plays in that fourth quarter than Texas Tech did.
All right. So do you expect to see chalk the rest of the way here, Rach? Or do you expect this tournament to stay upset laden like we've seen so far?
Just based on the year, yeah, there's going to be some sort of upset. I mean, that's my gut feeling. I think the K-State Oklahoma State that we're kicking the day off with is a really interesting matchup to me. If this was in Stillwater, I'd be feeling really different about Oklahoma State's chances. But the way Kansas State's playing right now, it's kind of like, okay, is this that kind of fairy tale little team that's going into Kansas City and just making some noise? You also got to consider some fatigue in this as well. Like, at this point with the lower seeds, BYU, K-State, and I mean, like BYU and TCU, like it's kind of the same thing. Like BYU's got momentum. They've won 5 in a row. Obviously TCU's number one for a reason. I'm excited to get eyes on Olivia Miles. I think she's the best player in the country. Lamarta Suarez, not far behind. I'll be completely honest. Arizona State kind of checked me a little bit last night because there comes a point where you just think, man, it's been a great year, but like we've hit our ceiling. That we've done as much as we possibly can, and Gabby Elliott, even despite, I know she's not feeling 100% with her knee, and she's been in college for a while now, like the heroic efforts from her and that team and just what Molly Miller has them doing. Like, it's scary when you have these teams that just believe. And then you look at Colorado and Baylor, like that's a coin flip in my mind with the way those two teams are playing right now. So I don't see chalk moving forward. I think it's going to be a crazy day. I'm hydrating. I'm going to have 9,000 cups of coffee. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
Well, we think your coverage is awesome, Rachel. We appreciate your time.
We think you're awesome, Rachel.
You're awesome, Rachel. Thank you so much.
Guys. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right.
Enjoy the weekend. Get some rest.
Rachel Galligan, Big 12 women's basketball analyst, insider. She is at the desk all weekend covering the Big 12 women's basketball tournament up in Kansas City. We pivot over to the men's side. Norm Roberts, the coach, longtime assistant at KU. He was the head coach at St. John's. He's been a regular during basketball season. Coach Roberts, after this on Big 12 Today, heard exclusively on TuneIn, watched on Big 12 Studios.